I was talking about Victor Davis Hanson's article, and what did he say? He said in that article that he does not think the Supreme Court can sit around much longer.
Yeah.
And he thought that the Supreme Court at some point here in the next, I think he gave them 3 to 4 weeks. 30 days, I think, was his max, where he said they just John Roberts has got to get it together. Well, John Roberts didn't get it together. Of course, he sided with the 4 of the 5-4 decision, but he didn't join in either one of the dissents, which I don't really know why people are pointing to that as some victory. But huge win for President Trump today, at least a first one, which you got to start somewhere on these, and what is going on with these district court judges thinking that they were elected to run the country for 330 million people. But the Supreme Court enters a stay, finally, ensuring that the Department of Education does not need to reinstate millions of dollars of canceled programming. As important, SCOTUS says the TRO is rightfully appealed. And hopefully this is just the beginning of many more to come. And I found it interesting, Vin, because we just talked about this last night.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that happened, but here's where I'm frustrated. 5-4?
Yeah, well.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. 5-4. It's like, it's so close. And even the dissents, even what they wrote about it, it's a crisis. I think people don't really fully, at least the Supreme Court doesn't fully understand. This is a crisis. This isn't like just one of these average run-of-the-mill, court cases that, Trump's appealing, whatever. This is a major crisis. It's a real constitutional crisis. And it goes 5-4. I mean, that's as partisan as it could possibly be. And they're not supposed to be partisan.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be objective, and they're supposed to be ruling off the Constitution. And they have thrown that out the window just by that 5-4.
I've said it a million times. I don't understand how there could be a conservative or a liberal Supreme Court justice. Follow the rule of law, and that's it. Have no emotional feeling towards a subject. It's very frustrating.
When they are vetted, though, this is how they vet them. What do you think about abortion? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know what? They shouldn't be asked any of those questions. They should just be asked about, their ability to judge off the Constitution. Well, and very simple, but they get picked because of those things.
Well, that pesky Constitution has been in the way for a long time for globalism and and centralized power. So, as we all say here, it's the Marxists have control, and this is what we're seeing. They've infiltrated almost every level and layer of courts.
Yeah, and this is why we always joke that we're 2 conservative justices away. When Amy Coney Barrett was put up after we went through the Kavanaugh debacle, we finally thought, well, geez, maybe we're finally getting to somewhat of a conservative court. And then you look at decisions like this, 5-4, and we always say, you get these judges, they get in there, and then all of a sudden they're not textualists. They don't judge like they try to sell themselves during the confirmation process. And you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and something that was never meant to be a right is all of a sudden a right. And then you wake up and things that are clear you would think are 9-0 decisions are 5-4, and you're holding your breath. And it just seems no matter how many Supreme Court justices President Trump has had, how many now? 4, 3, or 4? We always seem like we're 2 away.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that, you say they shouldn't be these questions, Paul, but of course, if you didn't ask these questions, you wouldn't know what to expect. We know what to expect from these people. And the fact that they're asked these questions and the way they answer, we know, okay, it's going to be either a conservative justice or it's going to be a liberal one. And the liberal ones never seem to err on the side of conservatism. Meanwhile, we're always doing that dance that Damon was just talking about. It's like, we don't know where they're going to end up. You got a Justice Roberts who's basically a Democrat. He vacations with these people from the world courts that we're finding out. Yep. And then you got Amy Coney Barrett, who seemed like a rock star during her confirmation hearing. Remember, she's answering these questions. She holds up her pad, basically not needing notes to answer all their questions. And what happens? Roberts gets his teeth into her.